happening tonight. It's just absolutely amazing. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And I would like to say thanks too for everything that you've contributed to my long life. Without your help, without your love, without your support, I would have never been here. So thank you all. I want to thank my children, my 3 wonderful children, for going through all the work that it took to have this party for me tonight, because they're just wonderful kids. They're so successful in life and successful as a person, which is, to me, the most important thing. Adam told me to say a few words, and I know how short the program, time that you have for the program, but we talked about adapting. He talked about adapting and to the different stages of the world, and I would just like to say a couple of words about adapting to life, different stages of life. I was born on a farm, the 4th of 4 kids. My brother, the oldest, was 9.5 years older than I was. By the time I graduated high school, they were all in college. My parents had very little formal training, education, yet all 4 of us graduated from college, and mainly we did it on our own by working hard to make sure we did it. Of course, it didn't hurt that tuition in 1941 at Indiana University for a non-resident was $64 a semester. But at the same time, $64 was a lot of money at the time. So just being raised on a farm and being the 4th, I was alone a lot of the time, but I always adapted to the situation I was in, and adapting to the stage of life that you're in is the key that I feel has brought me to this point. You know, when I was 18, I enlisted in the service and spent 3 years in the Army. At that time, it was Army Air Corps, not Air Corps. And had the pleasure of not only serving in the United States, but some time overseas. I was an airplane and engine mechanic on B-29s, assigned to one plane that flew 17 missions. And again, being in the service takes a lot of adaptation. And I had to adapt to Army life and had to adapt to the places that I was and the things that I didn't have and the things that I did have. Then going back to college, it's another stage of my life. I was discharged, went back to Indiana, changed my major, and graduated in 1949. And again, at that time, I proclaimed myself ready for everything and nothing. And that's where I was. So I had to test the water, I had to get in the world and compete to all other servicemen that had graduated. In other words, there were more people looking for jobs than there were jobs available. So finally got into the food industry and started at the bottom and worked my way up, and was lucky enough in 1957 to have an opportunity to start a company. With 2 other guys, one guy was like a brother to me. He was a great guy, and that was Vic Hassan. And we grew the company, and again, growing the company was a stage in life that I had to adapt to. And we grew the company from 3 people originally to when I left in 1982, we had about 400 people in 3 states, so we did well. But I figured that I had other things I tried to do, so I did it. I became a consultant, and again had to adapt that phase. Traveled around the United States, and the one thing that it did for me, that when people ask me what's important about retiring, I add one thing that they don't think about. Most people, when they retire from a high position where they were lauded and given a lot of kudos for what they had accomplished. And when they get to retirement, what they miss many times is their ego. Their ego isn't fed and their ego isn't padded. And I think you need that. And by being a consultant, I was lucky enough to have that. But anyway, I had to adjust that. And incidentally, I missed a period where I went with my wife for 2.5 years. She finally said, either you marry me or that's it. And then the children came, and they're wonderful children, growing up with the children. And then the grandchildren came, and lucky enough to have 10 grandchildren, including those that are married, and 4 great-grandchildren from my granddaughter, who promised me that she would do that for me. It's a little harder to adapt because it's hard to keep up with them, you know. When my grandsons was around, like Charlie, when he started to play Little League, I could throw the ball with him yet, but now I can't throw the ball with Eli anymore. I just lost it. And then as time went on, and my wife Harriet, who we were married for 62 years, finally became ill, and we had to change our living, adjustments in living, and decided that living in Tarzana was just too big a house with nobody in it but Harriet and I. So, and then Harriet got Alzheimer, and I tried to take care of her, and I did for about 2 years. And I said, that's enough for me. So we went and we found Cece. In May, Cece will have been with the family for 17 years.
Woo!
I guess she likes it here, and I hope she stays around until I go. But, anyway, it's a change of life, and Laguna Woods was a good change. I came down here, made new friends again. I have so many good new friends. I played bridge in the bridge room, and then when I couldn't, I gave up driving. We played online, and now I play with 3 great partners. Doris Williams on Monday, Wednesday, my friend Morris Cohen, who's from South Africa, and on Saturday with my friend Grace, who used to be a actress in Taiwan. In fact, a very, very successful actress. And she's a very nice lady too, which helps. But anyway, you know, what I'm saying and condensing in a lot of times is the ability to adapt. Because once you lose the ability to adapt and you don't have the respect for yourself anymore, it's very tough to continue. And what I try to do is keep that respect or liking myself. And if you don't do that, you got a tough go. So this is such a super special occasion. And I am so grateful. I am so humbled by you all being here. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. It's a thrill of a lifetime, and I can't thank my 3 children enough for all the work that they did to put it together. And so, thank you very much, one and all. Thank you.